Hey, it's Ben with Windscreen again. Thanks for tuning in this week. We're back in the shop doing a little work on our trusty, dusty shop Jeep here. We'll do a deeper dive on this particular Jeep in the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that. While we're out here waiting on some parts, we're going to do a deeper dive on the video from last week. We got lots of good feedback from that. Some people want some more details about exactly how to do certain things and what to look out for so you can get your car listed quickly, get it sold quickly, and get top dollar for it. So that's what we're all after. Everyone's happy to see Windscreen as an option now to get their car listed as a private seller and also as buyers, a new place to look. So we're going to do a deeper dive this week on a few topics, 4 or 5 topics. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Hey again, everyone, and welcome back to Windscreen. We're back in the shop this week to go over a few topics that we talked about last week. If you haven't watched last week's video, please stop what you're doing right now and go check that out. That'll give you a good base for this week's video. We get asked often about used car buying and selling, which makes sense. We're a private buying and selling used car marketplace. So we try our best to guide everyone and get everyone going in the right direction. We made that video last week with 8 or 9 good ideas of how to at least get started, about how to get your car listed quickly and get it sold quickly, and avoid time wasters and wasting time and tire kickers and things like that. So we're back in the shop this week to give you a little deeper dive on some of those topics. So we're going to do that this week. I think there's 4 or 5 topics here. So we're going to jump right into it. And thanks for watching. So first of all, like we mentioned last week, this list will not be exhaustive. There's 10, 20, 30 things that may be relevant to you when you're listing your vehicle. Again, every car is different, every seller is different, and every pool of buyers is different. Where you are in the country, the prices are in your area, what people are looking for. Maybe if you're in the oil fields of Texas, people are looking for a good used truck. Maybe if you're in the far northeast, somebody's looking for a good used all-wheel drive, Subaru or Audi or something along those lines. So just be mindful of that too. We get lots of questions about what should I price my car at and why is no one buying and things like that. But you have to really take into account your market. So first things first, let's talk about how, no 2 markets are the same. And again, if you have any issues, reach out to us. We're here every day, all day. We love buying and selling used cars. That's what we're doing this for. So reach out to us if you have any questions, but we'll get started here. So number one, a lot of times we're looking around and people on forums and stuff, and people are asking about, like, should I share the VIN of my vehicle or should I not? And what are the pros and cons of that? So always, if you can, and if you want to, share the VIN of your vehicle on your used car ad. There's numerous pros to that. People can run a Carfax on their end if they want to. They can do a quick Google search. Also, mainly, it just shows transparency in your ad, and people want to see transparency. Transparency, it goes a long way. Shows that you're not really hiding anything. You're honest, and you're willing to share your vehicle's history to the world. Lots of people will say on forums and Reddit and things like that sharing the VIN somehow will get your car data stolen or get your car stolen. Now, there are some outliers where the VIN can be used to spoof key cards and keypads and things like that. But 99% of the time, if you have a 1999 Honda Accord, you can share the VIN, and it's not going to harm you in any way. And there are numerous places you can find the VIN. If you don't know where those are, they're either on the door jamb area on the pillar, or they're on the door itself, usually on the driver's side. And 99% of vehicles out there today, there's a VIN plate at the bottom driver's side, left side of the windshield. We've got some videos of that here for you to show where those are. So if you want to, share the VIN, and you'll be able to list that easily on Windscreen. There's an optional block for that, and it's there for everyone to see. People can just walk by your car in the parking lot and catch the VIN too. So it's not like you can hide it from everybody anyway on a daily basis. So feel free to do that if you want to. It greatly provides some transparency and some warm and fuzzies to potential buyers. So that may help you get your car sold quicker. Number two here, we see this not happening a lot these days. People make an attempt, but they don't get it just right. We want to share an alive pic of the vehicle, of the vehicle's dash. Might not want to post a video of the vehicle running on any particular site or take the time to do that. But if you take a picture of the dashboard with the vehicle running, it'll show the potential buyers a lot of information right off the bat, and they won't have to guess. They'll be able to see usually where the tachometer is sitting, if it's idling high, idling low, or they can see if there's a check engine light on or a tire pressure light on or an airbag light on or any other warning lights. They don't have to contact you and ask, hey, are there any lights on the dash? They can easily see on that one picture that you provided. Saves time on both ends. The check engine light can be a turnoff for a lot of people, unless you've explained it out. But the airbag lights and the tire pressure lights are usually old car stuff, and they won't make you fail inspections either. You can keep the car registered and keep it on the road even with those things. So just be honest and upfront with that. A lot of times people will say no lights on dash, and then they'll show a picture and there's a light on the dash. So make sure you're not sharing any conflicting information there. Again, this is all about providing those warm and fuzzies to the potential buyers. They want to see what the car is really going to do when they show up, and no surprises is the name of the game here. And number three, this is something we also see quite a bit on used car ads, is people will be trying to cover up their license plates in a variety of ways. I think there's even some forums and some Reddit threads dedicated to this. Some funny pictures out there of how people go about doing this. And you'll see some examples here, but it's not necessary either. Just like the VIN, it's exposed on your vehicle while it's sitting in a parking lot. So is your license plate when you're in a parking lot or you're driving down the road. No one's going to be able to grab that information and come do anything nefarious to you. It's not a portal to the criminal underworld in any way. And I mean, you can do it, but there's no real reason to take the time to run your picture through a filter, or take a screenshot, cover it up via the pen tool, and then take a screenshot again and then post that. A lot of times the pictures end up weird on the site, and they lose detail or things like that. So you don't need to worry about using your finger or a towel or taking the plate off, or taking some cap cut thing or whatever on your phone and cropping that out. So another little way you can just save some time on your end, but still get your car listed, and people will see it, and they're gonna see your license plate anyway. So don't worry about taking the time to do that. We're not gonna come after you if you do, but you might get made fun of on the internet. And this is a big one here. Number 4 here. Make sure you list all of the features on your vehicle. We mentioned this last week too. This is the main driver of wasted time and confusion and frustration, and quite often puts a bad taste in people's mouths when they talk about buying and selling privately. There's so many ways you can spec a vehicle, and who knows what's happened to the vehicle over the last 10 or 15 years that you've had it, or it's been around, or 20 years or longer. So you need to let the buyer know what's going on under the hood, the number of cylinders, if it's a gas or a diesel truck, the trim. It's a lot of times people are looking for heated seats or leather seats or certain whatever features, and certain trims offer that. So they're on the hunt for a certain trim. And then also make sure you list if it's all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, which is real a real time waster on a lot of these crossover SUVs and stuff these days. They'll come either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and a buyer is looking for a certain thing. They may want an all-wheel drive if they're going to be driving through the snow, and you've not listed that. Now the buyer's got to contact you and ask, hey, is this whatever, four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive or two-wheel drive or whatever, and you're going to respond, and it could be a waste of time. It could not be. But if you go ahead and list it out there, you won't need to worry about people asking you what type of drivetrain it is. And then a lot of times you're seeing these days is pickup trucks with 6 cylinders or 8 cylinders. So make sure you get that across as well. And thankfully, Windscreen, unlike some other sites, will walk you through that and remind you to list the cylinder count, list the drive type, list if it's all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive or two-wheel drive or automatic transmission or manual transmission. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at a particular vehicle hoping it was a manual transmission because I know that that particular vehicle comes in a manual transmission, and they didn't show a picture of the inside of the gear shift area, and also didn't say if it was two-wheel drive, say if it was manual or automatic. I've had to reach out, and I've been disappointed. So for my sake and for a lot of buyers' sakes, please list all of the features of your car. And again, Windscreen lets you do that, walks you through that. You won't forget anything. You can't forget anything because it won't let you list the ad. And that saves time across the board and a lot of frustration, and is helping turn the tides on the bad taste from all the other sites out there that are that let you buy and sell privately, but let you also don't put information on your car ad, which is kind of counterintuitive because you want it to get sold as quick as possible, I think. So please list everything on your vehicle that you could think of and be as transparent as possible. So this is a big one here. They're all big ones, but this is a pretty big one too. Number 5. Just give an honest report of the vehicle. Don't try to hide anything. Don't try to minimize the rust or the dents or the dings or torn up interior or whatever. Just give an honest report. The potential buyer is going to find out anyway. They're going to come look at it and they're going to say, what in the world is this stuff you didn't tell me about? And immediately they're going to be turned off and not want your vehicle because they think if you didn't showcase this obvious thing, what else are you hiding? So let everyone know what's going on with your vehicle. Again, it just takes a few seconds to type all this out, and it's not hard, but a lot of people just don't remember to do it, or they don't think it's important because they buy and sell a vehicle once every 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, whatever. So we're here to remind you to get everything out there up front, and it'll be beneficial to you in the long run. So things like, are you the original owner? Do you have the detailed service records? Did you do all the service yourself? Is there any proof of that? A lot of times people say the engine's been rebuilt, but there's no documentation. So how is anyone to know if that's true or not? So always keep documentation too. It's such just a good thing to do when you're doing any service records, regardless of what they are. Keep good documentation. And if you do buy a vehicle from someone else, ask for that documentation as well, so you'll have it if you want to move on from it in the future. And then in some cities and states, this is important. Does the car have a current inspection or smog certificate? If it doesn't, that could be a lot of work for the buyer, or they may like, I'm not going to mess with it because it doesn't have it. I got to buy a vehicle that has all this stuff because I got to get on the road today. So make sure you do list that as well. It might not be relevant to you where you live, but a buyer in the next state over, the next city over may have to deal with it. So just let everyone know what's going on there. Also, if it's got a salvage or rebuilt title, if you have information about why that is, provide some pictures or provide some background. A lot of times cars can get totaled out with a busted door and a fender. And if you've replaced those with good OEM parts with the same color, no one will ever know. And obviously the car is still safe and structurally sound and mechanically sound. So if you have any pictures of that, it can provide proof of why the vehicle is salvaged, but it's still in good shape. That gives them more warm and fuzzies too. A lot of people just immediately write off salvage titles, but if they see in the description that it is just a door or just a bumper, you might have a bigger pool of buyers there. And for sure, make sure you list what does and doesn't work. Does the radio work? Do all the power windows work? Does the heat and AC work? Are the brakes squealing? Did you just replace the brakes? Good tires, all of these things that are super obvious to the buyer when they show up. So just be clear and concise up front. No one wants to show up and see that there's bald tires and you didn't know and no one told anybody, or the brakes are giving out and it's super dangerous to drive. A lot of people are looking for good used cars these days, and they will pay top dollar for them. So if you want to just tidy it up a little bit, put some good used tires on it, and get it to pass inspection, and people will be happy to buy that car. They don't have to put a bunch of work into after they buy it. Or worse, they come and they offer you half because it needs a whole list of things. So be clear and concise up front. Things such as the timing belt been done on cars that need timing belts done? Is the clutch new or is it slipping? There's hundreds of things. So just give it 5 or 10 minutes and think about the vehicle. Sometimes you don't notice these things when you're driving every day. They become normal to you. You've just lived with them. But a person coming and popping down $3, $4, $5, $10,000 is not going to want your problems. So let everyone know what's going on and do your best to tidy it up the best you can before you list it for sale. And for sure, people are going to want to do a test drive. So they're going to want to make sure that the brakes are working, like I mentioned before, and will it get up to 70, 80 miles an hour on the highway without shaking to death or making any weird noises or pulling to the left or right real bad, or trying to yank the steering wheel out of their hands. So do a good test loop too if you haven't driven the car in a while, if it will drive, and make sure it will do all those things. And if it doesn't, let everyone know too. And number 6 here, last but not least, for sure not least, is give the car a good clean up before you list some pictures for it. A lot of times we'll see cars with all sorts of junk and trash in the bed and in the cab, or it's been covered in mud. Take the time to clean up the vehicle, at least a bare minimum. Again, the pool of buyers will be much bigger if they see that you've got a car it shows that you've taken care of it. You may have been beating and banging on it, but if it shows that you've taken care of it, via being clean or tidied up, or there's not trash and fast food bags everywhere and all this stuff, that you are a caring person, you've taken care of the car, and it will serve them well. For sure, no one wants to see your pack of cigs in the center console because they immediately know that your car has been smoked in. And a lot of times people with allergies or just don't want to smell cigarette smoke will immediately move on past that vehicle. So there goes your pool of buyers right there. So for sure, no one wants to see that. And no one wants to see a whole bunch of dog hair or trash or whatever. So do your best you can. I'm not saying to take everything out or unlatch all your car seats and things like that, but show the best, show the car the best you can, and that'll go a long way. Just want to take a quick second here to give a huge thank you to everyone watching this week. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for all the support. And please don't forget to subscribe. The first 20 subscribers, maybe more, will get a nice little free gift from us. All the support helps. We thank you.